Hey, what's up, good people? My plane got delayed. Thank you, Southwest. All right, so the president is still talking. Let's just go right into what he is saying.
This is going to be numbers that nobody's ever seen before. That's a very important element of all of this. You know, if we get that, if you don't, and the Democrats are fighting it only because they want to fight. They have Trump derangement syndrome. You know, if it was somebody else, they wouldn't fight. If you had a normal person, if you had some stiff sitting behind you, they'd be fine. But they have Trump derangement syndrome. You know, Senator Schumer's become a Palestinian. Welcome. I don't know when they're going to give him the ceremony, whatever the ceremony may be. It's terrible what's happened to the Democrats. So very, very important element of everything, of what we're doing, unrelated to today, but related in the sense that we'll do, if that passes, we'll do even more business with the UK. We'll have so much. It's the biggest tax cut in history. It's going to make our country zoom. It's going to be incentive, as you know, with the deduction for basically for work. You work, you build, you plant, etc. Your deduction. It's going to be the biggest. It's the biggest bill of its kind ever passed. Maybe the biggest bill ever passed. That's why we call it the one big beautiful bill.
Mr. President, you just announced your new nominee for the U.S. Surgeon General, who never finished her residency and is not a practicing physician. So, can you explain why you picked her to be America's top doctor?
Because Bobby thought she was fantastic. She's she's a brilliant woman who went through Stanford, and as I understand it, she basically wanted to be an academic as opposed to a surgeon. I think she graduated first in her class at Stanford. And Bobby really thought she was great. I don't know her. I listened to the recommendation of Bobby. I met her yesterday and once before. She's a very outstanding person, a great academic, actually. So I think she'll be great.
Mr. President, your nominee for U.S. Attorney of D.C., do you have a backup plan if this Senate?
Oh, I do, yeah, but he's a terrific person, and he wasn't getting the support from people that I thought. You know, he's done a very good job. Crime is down 25% in D.C. During his period of time. I'm very disappointed in that, but I have so many different things that I'm doing now with the trade. You know, I'm one person. I can only lift that little phone so many times in a day. But we have somebody else that will be great. I just want to say Ed is unbelievable, and hopefully we can bring him into, whether it's DOJ or whatever, in some capacity, because really outstanding. To me, it was disappointing, I'll be honest. I have to be straight. I was disappointed. A lot of people were disappointed. But that's the way it works sometimes, you know. That's the way it works. And he wasn't rejected, but we felt it would be hard. And we have somebody.
So, hey, what's up, good people? The president is still talking right now, and everything that I said was going to happen with the market absolutely happened. It went down, and then when he started to talk about China and a possibility, and he's going to play nice, it went up. So everything I said on the last live, like 45 minutes ago, actually is happening in real time. So we're going to listen, and then we're going to go back to the charts. Hey, right. No, I'm not at the airport. My thanks to Southwest, my plane got delayed an hour. So here we are back. So let's listen a while, and then I want to talk about Bitcoin hitting 101K right now. Look at this, good people. Bitcoin at 101, right? It is pumping. Now, if you look at the market, the second he talked about China and it being a good deal, or this weekend they're looking positive, that's when the market started to pump. After they announced the UK deal, just like I said, it was actually cooling off. And then when he mentioned China, it popped. Exactly like I said. So let's just listen, and then we're going to come back and talk about stocks and crypto.
You guys hit me with eggs. I said, what the hell happened with eggs? Eggs were up like 170% and going up. And they said, don't order any for Easter. And we were thinking about ordering plastic eggs like everybody was doing. And Brooke did a fantastic job, agriculture. Brooke did a fantastic job. And we had hundreds of thousands of eggs out here on the lawn just 2 weeks ago at Easter. But you take a look at the cost. Energy's down. Even interest rates are down. Now, if the chairman of the Fed, Jerome, if he would lower interest rates like China did, like I think UK did, but like numerous other countries have done, it's like jet fuel. It'd be great. But he doesn't want to do it. I think he doesn't want to do it. Probably he's not in love with me. I think that's right. It's sort of a crazy reason, but that's the way life is. Anybody in his position would be like jet fuel. But even without that, we're doing well. But remember this, I've watched you people reporting over the last few months that if we do this, prices are going to go through. Well, groceries are down. All of this stuff is down. Lumber is down. Oil is gone to, we have that thing broke 60, right? $60 a barrel. And $1.98, $1.99 in some cases. And heading in that direction. No, I think it's been amazing, actually. And what that's good for, it gives the consumer more money, and it gives them a better life, because we just came out of the worst inflation, in my opinion, in the history of our country. They say 48 years. But Biden really screwed it up. He screwed up energy. And he also he spent too much money. He was spending it on, green new scam. And that's like throwing the money. See that beautiful window behind? Take money, throw it right out that window, because it's the same thing. He spent $10 trillion. He wasted it. Not only was it bad, it was a negative. It wasn't even like it helped a little bit. It was a real negative. And then on top of it, they let 21 million people into our country without any identification, anything. Just let them in. It's very, very sad. Well, we'll do one or two more. Go ahead. Who are you with?
I'm with the Daily Telegraph. Now, you know me from
Yeah,
another
I
place.
do.
How concerned are you about the UK's reliance on China? Chinese money in the money markets, Chinese exports.
We're not concerned.
Is that something that came up in
Honestly,
discussions?
I'm not concerned about anything. If I was, I wouldn't even be here right now. If I was concerned about anything, and it wouldn't be that, but I wouldn't be here right now. No, we're not concerned. We're going to have, I believe, a very good relationship with China, and a fair relationship, and it'll get bigger and it'll grow. It'll grow. As an example, if they open up the country, that'll be the best thing China ever did for itself. They don't know that yet because, it's been a different system. But that'll be the greatest thing that ever happened to China. The people will be happier. They'll buy for less. They'll see things that they never saw before, and they'll be buying them. And it'll really create great long-term peace.
And if I could ask one of the agriculture secretary, actually, there's a lot of concern about chlorinated chicken and hormone-treated beef. Has that question been addressed, resolved in these talks, or is that something for the continuing negotiations?
Well, James.
I would just say that it's very clear, and we have in the heads of terms that we are going to discuss all of these types of issues, and obviously the importing country, whether it's us or them, you got to follow the rules on those types of things. But our point is the rules need to make sure that they are based on science, and that's our expectation. We know the UK believes that too, so we want to come to an accommodation. We want the consumers in each country to be able to choose what they want and give them the information that they need.
Okay. We have an incredible EPA led by Administrator Zeldin that is on this. So the talks continue, but we are very, very confident in our products, and what the president has done to open up the markets is unprecedented for these farmers here in America. Thank you.
Message from Wall Street as they watched this. I mean, you saw the stock market decline sharply after Liberation Day, and it's rallied back since then.
Well, now it's going to really rally because, don't forget they said this is all a pipe dream. And this is a tough one. Somebody would say, well, this is easy. This is much tougher, I think, than any other deal because they've been at it for so many years, decades, trying to make this deal. And it's very conclusive, and it's a great deal, and it's a very big deal, actually. And no, this is just the beginning. We're going to be having conferences, or at some point we won't have. We'll just put out a statement that we just signed this country, that country. And after a number of these are done, nobody has enough people to do it. We're just going to put out X country is going to pay this, and if they open up, they're going to do this and that, and they're going to be open up. Everybody wants to be here. I say this is where they want to be shopping. They want to shop in this country because we have the consumer. And we have the consumer like nobody else. And, if this country went bad, the whole world would go bad. But we really saved it from going bad. Yeah, please.
No, can I ask you about the air traffic control issue? Are you looking at getting new software? New
I'm glad
equipment?
you asked me about it because I'm just going to be talking to now with the heads of the airlines and everything else. So I was all set before we had the rigged election to give out a brand new gorgeous system to one company that was going to do the whole thing, one of the best companies in the world that you know very well. You know, there are 3 or 4 of them that do it. And when they took over, Buttigieg, who has no clue, you know, he drives to work on his bicycle with his, in all fairness, with his husband on the back, which is a nice, loving relationship. But he didn't have a clue. This guy didn't have a clue. And he's actually a contender for president. Between him and Crockett, you can have that party. But he didn't know what he was doing. And he took what they call dry systems where you have wires in the earth, buried in the earth or whatever. And then you have the open air systems where you have satellites, and you can't mesh them. Anybody would know that if you went through about 2 months of study in school, if you studied that kind of thing. And he did. They spent tens of billions of dollars trying to take old, broken equipment and merging it into existing new equipment with brand new equipment. It's one of the greatest. They spent like $40 billion. And what they did is they made it worse because it doesn't work together. You can't make it work together. If you have a satellite system, you need satellite. If you don't, they had all these different technologies, some of them 50 years old, and they're trying to mesh them in. And they end up spending twice the money they should have. You could have bought a whole new system. So we have a very good guy who you all know, Sean Duffy, is head of transportation, and I've given him a 10-minute lesson in buying, and he's become really good. And we are now in the market to buy a gorgeous, brand new system. The helicopter that crashed into the plane at 400 feet, it shouldn't have been. What would have happened is all sorts of bells and sirens would have been going off 3 minutes before that accident happened, if you had the right equipment, but they didn't. And the new equipment is unbelievable what it does. You can have, you don't even, well, I was going to say something, but you always, in my opinion, you always need pilots. I want pilots. But you wouldn't even have to have pilots. This system is so incredible what they can do. But we have a system that's obsolete. And what they did is the worst. They tried to combine the really old, broken stuff with the new stuff. And you can't combine it. And anybody should have known. So Biden, you think Biden figured this out? I don't think so, fellas. Do you think he has any clue? He doesn't know what the hell's happening. So here's the story. We're going to be buying a brand new, it's going out to bid very soon, brand new state-of-the-art system that will cover the entire world. I'll give you an example. When my pilot, now I have military pilots, but prior to that I have very good pilots, great pilots. They would land, and I won't tell you which country, but they would use the system of another country. They wouldn't even use the system of the United States. So if I'm landing in New York or Florida, or Tennessee, they're using a system from another country. I said, why is that? And they were, you know, they're not into business, but they're just saying, our system doesn't work, sir. And I said, boy, that's pretty sad. But we were all set to give it out to, you know, look, you have a Raytheon and you have different companies like that, numerous companies. And you have companies that would do it, like an IBM, as an example. And you give out one deal, one contract. They gave out hundreds of contractors. They had diggers. They had non-diggers. They had people that focused on satellites. They had hundreds of different contracts. One contract where one guy is controlling everything. If you need a trench, then they dig a trench. But if you don't dig the trench, they don't blame you. What happens is you don't dig it, then they say we want a cost overrun. Now, we have it all set, and we're going to be doing it. We would have done it, except that the election took a little strange turn. But the second one didn't. That was too big to rig. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, good people. Y'all heard it. They push everybody out, get out. Let me tell y'all something. If y'all didn't catch that Buttigieg comment he made, oh my goodness. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's crazy. Let's concentrate on our money. Listen, I concentrate. I don't listen to what people say. I listen to what they do. and I've been this way for many years, okay? Let's focus on, and when we do these lives, the reason I asked about you guys money is that's what I want you to focus on, right? I want you to focus on the money, all right? When it comes to the White House and politics, you got both sides pushing you to the extremes, right? Meanwhile, wealthy people are looking at the money. So I want you to just, let's leave these comments. Yeah, he shot, that was some shots fired, man. That was, anyway. So let's look at the money, all right? Why I was expecting these meetings to last 2 hours. Yeah, man. So for those of you that don't know, I came live a little earlier, and then my flight got pushed back an hour. So I came back to feed the family. All right, so let's look at what happened. All right, good people. Bitcoin was just at 101. Not 101. Look at that. It is beautiful. Look at that. 4% it's up today. We got even XRP is waking up now 5% in the last hour. So look at that. So some of you guys were flat. You go from flat to positive, right? So now let's look at this. Look at the NASDAQ. Now, in the last, get on the plane. Larry, you don't need to get on the plane. How am I going to get there, man? How am I going to get there? All right, so listen. I said in the last live that if it's just an announcement, all right, leave a coffee cup because it's always a lesson. I said if he just mentioned the deal with the UK, that it's already priced in. But I also said if he brings up China, that the market will take off. Well, exactly right here is where he started to talk about China, the weekend meeting in Switzerland, that they're going to potentially open the doors. And then what happened to the NASDAQ? It rose. Look at that. By 261 points just on that. What are we learning? We're learning that the market is waiting on this China deal to happen, okay? That's what the China is waiting. We're waiting on. And then what happened with Bitcoin? It pumped 4% today. Look at that. To 101. It was 101 while he was talking. And that is bagging up what I said, that Bitcoin would have already been like 115 to 120 already had the tariffs not come into play, right? So we know I never believe 100% of any of these numbers. Jobs, in the last 10 years, I always question any of these reports in the last 10 years, right? So I'm no dummy, okay? But let's look at where the money is. Now, I brought up granny strats, and here's why. I want to see what happened, right? So if we go to the charts and we bring up, I want you guys to see this, right? VUG, we'll go to crypto next. VUG, right? You see where VUG is, right? I brought that up, and then we're going to compare that to QQQ, Tech Heavy, and then Granny Strat, all right? GRNY. I just brought these up in the previous live. And listen, guys, I'm showing you guys where the money is. Look at that, good people. Fundstrat is outperforming even today. Look at that. 231 to 163. And then over the last 5 days, as you could see, the money is in Granny Strat. Actually, Granny Strats is actually outperforming 2 to 1, right? And so I'm telling you guys about these now and not waiting until they pump. I just want you to put them on your watch list, okay? So now, I also told you guys that I look for the penny stock sometime or the low cap and see what they are doing, right? So I want you guys to pay attention. For people in my money moves, they know that I've been talking about this stock, QBTS, okay? And when did I talk about it? When it was down. Look at this, good people. Look at this. D-Wave is up 37% today, and the warrants are up 52% today. Yes, it's granny shots. That's it. Granny shots. Where is that at? It's granny shots. Yes. So look at this. Look at D-Wade. Okay? And look at not just D-Wade, look at quantum computing, look at Rigetti, right? And then when you look at the warrants, they pumped even more. Now, we here and we in Money Moves, we've been buying these when they were beat down. I told you guys where to look, and I told you, look at the 200-day moving average. I told you guys, here's where we buy. And I was talking to you guys at the bottom, but I understand. Fear is fear, and it's hard to buy when things are down. So now, if you look at these, they are absolutely smashing it, and the run is not over. They're showing you what they have a potential to get to, all right? So what else? What else is, I'm looking at my portfolios. QUBT, Rigetti warrants, RGTIW. Look at this. RGTIW, Rigetti warrants. Look at that. Up today. Look at that. Bing, and then zoop. Okay, up 8.75% today. All right. Let's try the QUBTS warrants. So let's look at the warrants. That would be QBTS. These are the warrants. All right. I've helped you guys a lot with these warrants. Look at that. Look at the warrants, good people. They are up by 52% today alone. And so the time to buy these is when the market has tanked. The same thing with crypto. With Bitcoin at 101 again, that's 109.40. We're just gonna call that 101. Look at that. When was the time to buy? All right. So that's what I want you guys to concentrate on. Look at Solana up 9%, almost 10% right now. Solana's up 10% right now. What else do we have that is up? SUI. Look at SUI pumping, good people. This is why I like SUI. Today, SUI is up 17%. This is what it is all about. Unc is sold out on Tom Lee. No, you listen. It's not that I'm sold out on Tom Lee, all right? I understand what you're saying. I want you to go to the ETF. He has actually a channel. I like the way that the ETF is structured and actively managed. That's what I like. And hey, the proof is in the pudding. I don't care what you think. The proof is in the pudding. Look at how it's performing, right? We bought it when it was grossly beat down, okay? And all I get an understanding. Numbers don't lie. So I talk about it now. So when it's pumping down the road, I talk about it at the bottom. So when it's pumping down the road, I told you, I told you win or lose. You got to make a decision and roll with it, okay? I'm new to investing. Money I use, throw away. I wish I was doing this years ago. This is true. This is what this is all about, good people. So for those of you that are new, just rewind this. I'm going to leave it right there. Everything you really want to know is in this video. And if you just want to follow my plays, if you want to learn options for dummies, if you're like me, talk to me like I'm 3, come join us, some Money Moves. That we have the options for dummies going on right now. Come and learn with us, okay? Like I said, now's the time to learn, right? Quantum is not an ETF. No. Quantum computing, I believe, do have an ETF, but Quantum is a stock, okay? I just about sold out on Tom Lee. Well, I like the ETF, okay? I don't roll with everything he says, but he's been right more than all of the rest of those guys. Yep. Yeah, there you go. Look at the ETF. Forget everything else. Just look at the ETF and look at the performance of it, okay? Look at the performance of it. It's time for me to go again. So I want you to look at the performance of it, good people. So let's go over this again. Remember, I have been talking about VUG, which is doing good, right? I still have Vanguard, right? Let's stack that with, how come it can't stack? What's going on here, right? So let's stack that. Come on, you can do it. All right, let's stack that with QQQ, okay, right? Let's stack that with SCHD, because a lot of people like that, right? SCHD, SCHD. Bipolar this morning. All right, SCHD. Okay, let's stack that. Let's look at performance, and we know that you can't just look at performance. You got to look at, dividends and costs, right? All right. So now, what else do we need to put in here? Let's put in VTI. Okay. And now let's put in Granny Stretch. GRNY. Okay. Come on, man. All right, GRNY. It's autocorrect. Let's look at fund strats. So this is what I'm talking about. The proof is in the pudding. Okay. Now this is just what? 1 day, right? 1 day. So that's 1 day. Let's look over the 5 day. Okay. Let's look at the month. So you tell me why Larry likes Granny Strat better. You tell me. Look at that. 23. Now, Vanguard and QQQ are both killing it because we're up this. We've been buying at the bottoms, like I've been teaching you guys. But look at fund strats. That's why I like it, good people. Numbers don't lie, and that's why I like it. Okay. So in all I'm gonna keep saying, get an understanding, get your feelings out of the way. So many people on this platform, so many that comments are just feelings. Always understand this about me. Understand this about your boy. I'm going to show you where the money is. I don't care who's talking. I don't care who's in the White House. I don't care what these policies are. I don't care who's they got y'all divided, fighting with each other. And I'm on the side of the deal with the 5%. Why they making money? Because that's what this channel is. Why they making money? I'm making money, and I'm telling you guys and showing you guys where I'm making the money. Hi, Larry, do you think Baby Bunk will go back to all-time highs? I hope it does, because Baby Bunk is looking nice right now. Let me look at Baby Bunk right now. It's a good deal. Let's look at Bunk and see what Bunk is doing. Yeah, Bunk is looking nice, right? Bunk is looking nice. Let's end there. Let's end there. Let's go here. And done this in a while. Let's go here. Bing. Okay. Doge is up 11% right now. Pepe, which I have some Pepe, is up 23% right now. Bunk is up 16%, though for the week, it's flat. It's actually down by 1%. So this week, Pepe outperformed by being up 11%. Floki's up 16%, but I'm looking at the week, so that really doesn't do anything. Dogwood had all of these other coins, but Pepe, let's look at Bunk. Let's see. Let's look at Bunk and see how far we got to come back, right? Hopefully you didn't buy at the top, because that's not what it's all about. All right, let's just go over the year. Man, I hope Bunk does go back to the top. I hope Bunk does. I don't know. Look at that. You see quad zeros at quad 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, quad 049. Right now it's quad 019. If it gets back to quad 049, then your boy's gonna be happy, right? But listen, I'm gonna leave you with this. I'm not buying right here. Well, I am dollar cost averaging, but the actual buys, I'm not buying right here. Larry buys down here. Here's where I get excited and start buying, right? Here's why I get excited and start buying right here. I buy less here, way less here, and I buy 3 times as much here. And I keep it simple and I make money, all right? Hey, good people, I'm going to leave it right there. President was an hour late, so that's why I had to end, but my plane got delayed an hour, so I'm coming back to you guys, leaving you with this. Come join us at Money Moves. Come learn and earn with us. And that's it, good people. I just keep it, everybody in Money Moves know I just keep it raw, as transparent as possible, but I know how to make money in these markets, right? And since 2021, I've been coming on this platform, feeding you guys and keeping it real. And that's it. I don't always get everything right, but I get enough right to make a lot of money. And I help a lot of people make a lot of money. Pray for me as I travel. I won't be coming back today unless something crazy happened. All right. And I'll see you guys later. Love you guys for real. Love one another. Get the politics out of the way. Just get the politics out of the way. Look at what's really happening. And then you and I will laugh at the bank. Love you guys. Live, love, laugh, and learn.